isn't that beautiful? This is an NZXT H510 with a mesh front, something that I've wanted since they initially launched the H510 back in 1725. Now, we could harp on NZXT for responding to trends in the case market at a similar rate as Continental Drift, but there's no point because we have it now finally, and it's actually a really good implementation. Look at how easy it is to get the front off. Unlike some cases where you need to use so much force to get the front off, it feels like you're going to accidentally destabilize Switzerland. And not only that, but you can actually see through it. There is space for actual air to move through the front, and it's got a dust filter which you can easily remove and clean. So what we're going to do in today's video, let me just put that back again to illustrate how easy that is. But what we're going to do in today's video is I'm going to build a high-end system with many TDPs in it to see how it handles it compared to the previous version of the NZXT H510. I'm not going to compare it to a bunch of other cases on the market in terms of thermals, because unfortunately I don't have standardized temperature test results for every case on the market. Now, along with the case that NZXT did send out for this video, they also sent this, which is the new white version of their Kraken AIO. It should functionally be the same, it's just in white. Ooh, that does look white. Comes with some nice looking white fans. Ooh, and some more white. Now, having a look at the inside of the Flow, which I just realized kind of makes it sound like a feminine hygiene product, it's just an NZXT H510, which is a good thing. You know, it's a nice case to build in, and it has a proven track record of not spontaneously combusting, which is comforting for a new NZXT product. So, what is it like to build in the H510 tampon? Well, it's an H510, so you've probably built in one before. There's not much to say about it. It is a very nice case to build in. And it has one of my favorite features on a case that I don't know why everyone else doesn't also do. The front panel connectors aren't like a bunch of little annoying thingies, but it's like one solid just thing that you can stick in, and I love that. I am very excited about that every time I build in the H510. So yeah, it's a really good case. Although it does also carry over some of the niggles of the standard H510, again, obviously, because it's the same case. Radiator support, for example. This case does technically support a 280mm radiator, and you can get it in there, but it's kind of like getting a massive container ship through the Suez Canal. Yes, it's technically possible, but you need to be very patient, skilled, and sober while doing it, because invariably the tubes of the AIO catches on the cable management cover, which is a bit annoying, and it makes it difficult to maneuver in. And if you have the fans on the same side of the mounting bracket as the radiator, then it's not going to fit in, so you need to move it to the front. On the note of that mounting bracket, I'm really glad that they kept the removable radiator mounting bracket in the case, because it's really nice to use. But again, it presents problems with a 280mm radiator, because when you screw the radiator to it, you realize that there's only really airflow cutouts for a 240mm radiator, so then all of the additional radiator surface area is pretty much just blocked off by metal, making it kind of pointless, which means its radiator support is quite a bit worse than the competition. Other than that though, the building experience does hold up very well these days, and now it has airflow, so it's better. I'm excited. On that note, let's see how much of a temperature difference that mesh on the front makes with the H510. Now for these tests, I used an 11900K, which was drawing about 150 watts through the tests. And then I'm also using the RX 5700 XT waifu card, which you've been seeing. It looks amazing in this build, but that graphics card has one of the worst coolers ever fitted to a graphics card on it for some reason. It looks impressive, it's nice and big, and it's got fans and stuff, but it's terrible, so bear that in mind. Anyway, I manually set all the fan speeds, and I was recording the temperature of the intake ambient air, so the variable in this test is the airflow on the front of the case. Now in terms of gaming temperatures, the GPU was running at a very similar temperature in both configurations, although it was a little bit cooler in the H510 tampon, whereas the CPU temperatures made a big difference. That radiator was getting a lot more fresh air, which led to about 10 degrees lower temperatures on the CPU, which is good. And this becomes more evident in the stress test situation. So here, I was running both IDA64 and Firmark at the same time for a half-an-hour test. And at the end of the test, we were getting about 83 degrees Celsius with the standard H510 on the GPU and 73 degrees Celsius on the CPU. Whereas with the new case, we were getting about 79 degrees Celsius, which isn't a huge difference, it's about 4 degrees Celsius. But in terms of CPU, we're all the way down to about 59 degrees Celsius. So that is more than 10 degrees cooler just by having that front mesh in there, which shows you that everybody that was complaining about the airflow characteristics of this version of the case, it makes sense. Airflow helps, it makes for just better PC temperatures. So at the end of the day, it is an H510 that now has airflow, so it is really good. I am very glad that they finally did it. The temperatures are better. It is now a much better case. That does have a bit of a problem, and the problem makes sense, but it's that the case is going to cost $110 when it's available in mid-October, which is quite a lot more than this version of the case. Now NZXT explains the problem, and it makes sense. Currently, logistics is a nightmare, and there's just a continually increased material cost, which means that selling cases at their previous lower prices is becoming increasingly difficult. And I think over the next couple of months, the competitors to the H510 tampon are also going to slowly increase in price. But at the moment, that $110 price does seem quite steep compared to something like a 4000D Airflow, which you can buy for about $85 at the moment, I think. 95. Wait, let me just go check. Oh, yes, $95. So at the moment on Newegg, the 4000D Airflow is selling for like $95, and in my opinion, the 4000D Airflow is a bit of a better case because it's got better radiator support and stuff. If you don't care about the radiator support, you can kind of just go based on aesthetics, but that is less than $110. However, you can only get the black version of the Airflow case for $95, and they don't have stock of the white version of the Airflow case anymore. So the only way to get it on Newegg is by buying it from like third-party sellers on Newegg, and they're selling them for like $130 for the Airflow version of the white 4000D. So that kind of makes me think that, yeah, case prices are going to be climbing over the next couple of months, and we need to bear that in mind. So $110 may actually be a pretty good price. So I guess we'll see what happens. I can't tell the future. Maybe it's going to be a very reasonable price in a couple of months. Maybe not. We just have to see what happens. But with that, let me know down in the comment section below what you think of the new H510 Maxi Pad. I think now it's a lot more competitive than it was in this configuration. And yeah, good job. I'm excited about it. Thank you very much for watching, and until the next video, bye-bye.